sinister mind of Sinestro.
Hey, what's going on? This your boy Ed Sinestro, about to give it to you, also known as KLA the Wanderer. Yeah, I got a new channel and talking about comics and stuff like that. And I got a gentleman here. His name is I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Well, my right name is M.D.McDonald, but you can call me Swurve. That's been my nickname. That's why it's the name of the comic book company. That's just been me all the way around. So you're talking to Swurve, man.
Okay, no doubt. Good. Nice to meet you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you.
No problem, man.
Yeah, how you came up with the concept Swerve Comics?
Well, the concept of Swurve Comics came up basically, like I said, the name Swurve was a nickname I was given a long time ago. You know, whatever you get in high school, that follows you through the rest of your life. So basically, I just took it and just kept using it. Put it into my comics. I've been drawing ever since I was in, oh my God, what, elementary. I think I've been drawing ever since then. But it wasn't until later on I decided to make my own characters and stuff. After many years of reading different comic books and stuff, so I just took the name Swerve, made it my comics, and into the Swerveverse. That's basically it.
Okay. And when did you decided to to do like comics? At what point?
Well, I did. I've been drawing comic book superheroes and stuff. You know, Spider Man, Batman, some of my favorite X-Men. You know, doing that for a long time. I've been able to, like I said, draw ever since I was little. But when I finally decided to make my own comic book and stuff, it's been like a couple of years now. But I
Right.
had wrote a lot of stories when I was in college. So when I was in college, I was a good like free did like a lot of free writing in classrooms and stuff. And my teacher, she was like, "You got a very vivid imagination. It's like you should do something with that." So I used to just write, and me drawing, I finally just started putting different faces to some of those characters and stuff. And I think I went to my first Comic Con, and I was with my son, and my son was looking at some of the other artists and stuff at the con, and he was like, "Yo, Dad," he was like, "You need to be here." He was like, "Your stuff look better than some of these other people's stuff." And I was like, "Yo, shh, be quiet, but don't be saying." I say art is, you know, however anybody choose to do it. It's very expression, you know, and everybody got their own style. So after that, I said, if I do it, I said, you gonna sit here, you gonna chill with me and do it? And he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That lasted like a couple of cons and then he was out there. But he basically, him and my wife basically gave me the inspiration to jump out there and start doing the comics. So that's been like, I think about 6 years now. And it took me a minute to finally get my first comic book out. COVID stopped that a lot, or should we call that C-19 or however? I don't want to
Yeah.
get it knocked off the air or whatever. But that stopped it from first coming out. But once that was over with, I dropped my first book, which was Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad. And I just recently dropped my second book, which is Beyond the Red Door, my horror book. So basically, Swerve Comics is made up of two kinds of comic books: heroes and horror.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see. You have. Let me see. Tell me. Okay. Now tell me about this character. This is very interesting.
Oh, my man, Eight Ball. Well, everybody always thinks that the book is called Eight Ball, but it's not. It's called Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad.
Mm,
Basically, it's about it's called Core. Really, it's let me give you the whole basis from the beginning.
no doubt.
What started my whole comic book, the storyline to it is the down here in Florida, in Lake Okeechobee, they always talk about the red tide algae blooms and the Caloosahatchee River and how those red tide algae blooms, you know, affect the environment and everything. So I just took that spin upon that and said that these spores from the red tide algae blooms have finally infected us. And now certain children are developing powers and some people are developing powers and abilities and stuff. So through that contamination, um, Eight Ball was born. You know, he's a first generation, but he's a second generation xenotype, which is like a person born with abilities and stuff like that. Um, he is solo, he got a homeboy called Q. So it's Q Ball and 8 Ball. They hang out, and both of them have powers and abilities. Q Ball is a hyper intelligent being, so he makes like all of his little gadgets and stuff when he uses them and needs them. But other than that, 8 Ball is basically a powerhouse, but his powers are still young. And since that whole thing happened, many other people are developing powers and abilities and stuff. So a lot of kids are beginning to gang up, join little cliques and gangs and stuff, and they start trying to run the cities and stuff like that. And 8 Ball is not affiliated with none of them, so he's not having none of that. So he like steps up against some of those gangs and stuff. So they have a little underground fighting fighting little like group called the Pit. And there, a lot of gangs come to have like little competitions and stuff, and people come there to test out their powers and abilities and everything. And 8 Ball goes in there, he's solo, so he's not part of no gang. And he's beating everybody. So they think 8 Ball is like a plant or he's like police, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's wondering, like, who is this guy with the 8 on his mask? You know what I'm saying? He's not affiliated with nobody. So everybody's concerned about who is he, and they want to know who is he and why is he there and why he fighting all good and stuff like that. So that's part of his issue that he has. But his powers and ability, he's just how can I say, a super athlete. There's a black substance all over his bones, which make his bones basically indestructible. And it also, that black substance also manipulates his muscle mass and density, and also manipulates the melanin in his skin, which makes his skin super tough or indestructible or impenetrable by like impervious to like small arms fires and everything, stuff like that.
Is he like a Luke Cage? Would you
Uh,
say that?
he's kind of like a Luke Cage. I say he's more of a Black Panther, Captain America mixture. With the unbreakable bones,
Okay.
kind of like a little bit of Wolverine, you know what I'm saying, with the unbreakable bones and stuff like that. But it's the substance that coats his bones that gives him basically all his powers and ability. And later on
Oh,
down the
okay.
story, you'll understand what that substance is, and that's what really contaminated the red tide algae bloom and stuff, and made people start developing these abilities and stuff. So
Okay. Like, so what like do you have like group affiliations like with like an X-Men or Avengers? Like let me ask you something like
okay.
what's Swerve Comics? What's the difference like between Swerve Comics? What separates Swerve Comics from other um companies like Marvel, DC?
Well, for one, I'm totally independent. Everything I do is on me.
Okay.
Like I said, I do all the writing and stuff, characters and everything. What separates me from Marvel and DC? Like I said, I'm totally independent, and I rely on my fan base and a lot of going to different cons and stuff, talking to people, letting them know, and basically that's really about it. Because
Okay.
I'm my own boss, I'm my own chief. I can put out how many books I want to. I can put out how many less books I want to. But what separates me from those guys is I'm not just coming up with an idea and just throwing it at you and see if it sticks. I make
Right.
sure what I write is something that's good. My whole thing is Swurve is my brand, and I'm gonna make sure that whatever I put out there is gonna be something good. Like when I give people my book and they buy it and they read it, I tell them, please critique it. And not hate, but critique, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you got a real critique about it, hit me up on my Instagram or hit me back up on swurvecomics.com and let me know if you like it or not. I'll be like, yo, this book is trash, you know what I'm saying? And you need to do this. Or come back and tell me, if it's great. And if it's great, good. If it's you got an honest critique, let me know. Because if you don't critique me, I can't get better. And that's what I tell them. The
Sure.
only way I get
That's
better is
true.
if you tell me something's up. So I got a few critiques on it, but it's nothing detrimental, nothing really, really bad. Most people have liked hardcore, and a lot of people like Beyond the Red Door. So as of right now, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Like, how was the process with you? Like, just to even like make a comment?
Well, the process for me, like I said before, I've been writing stories ever since I was like in college.
Yeah.
So I had came up with a bunch of characters, my own independent little characters and stuff. and I base my characters off of real people that I know. So it's easier to, how can I say, build those characters up because I got a personality to work with already. So I have friends and relatives that I grew up with. A lot of those are based in those characters that I do. Once I do that and I have the writing done, some of the stories are kind of old, so I update them, with the technology and stuff that's going on. Once I do that, then I decide how I want the story to go. And everything, I'm a traditional artist, so everything starts off with pencil and paper. And I start storyboarding and sketching out and stuff and putting it together. Once I've done that, I take everything and I transfer it over by taking pictures and emailing the pictures to me, and I put it into either Photoshop, Illustrator, or what the other one I use? Freaking Procreate. I use that sometimes, but most of the time I use Photoshop and Illustrator, and I do all the inking and rendering and everything in there. Then I turn around, I do all the coloring. Then I turn around, I do all the lettering. Like I said, and then once I shrink it down to print size, I send it off to the printer. And it can be a tedious process, but I done did it a couple of times now, so it gets easier and easier every time you do it.
So how's like the sales like with the hardball?
Hardcore has done pretty good.
Hardcore.
I mostly sell my stuff. Every once in a while, I get some stuff through SwurveComics.com, but most of my selling stuff come from going to cons. I actually like going to the cons because you get to meet people. They get to read the book. They actually come back and give you feedback on the book and if they liked it or not, or if they didn't like it, I still say come and give me feedback. Like I say, a critique is a critique. I can only get better with it. So with that, the sales have been really good so far. And the Red Door, I was kind of nervous with it because it's a horror book, and the horror genre has been done so many ways and been repeated and repeated and repeated. I was just trying to come up with something. I can't say new because everything has been written, but just trying to do it in my way and make it a little bit better and give you some memorable characters and stuff. And I think I pretty much pulled that off in Beyond the Red Door and in Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad.
Yeah, let me show like some pictures. So yeah, this is Beyond the Red Door.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. What made you want to do like horror comics? Like so it's like you're like a Stephen King with the graphic novel?
Kind of. What made me want to do the horror story is, I grew up in the South. I'm from Florida.
Right.
And it's just, you hear things, weird things, and I just took some of the childhood memories I had and put them into the story. Besides, I also want to switch it up and use like a little girl, you know what I'm saying? A little black girl. Because I be trying to think in horror movies, do we have any little like small, like black children, be afraid of and stuff? And, and there really isn't. Of course, the doll thing has been done a lot, but I'm like, the dolls have been done a lot, but I'm like, have you ever seen a voodoo doll? Have you ever seen a rag doll with a zipper on their mouth? Have you seen a ripped up and sewn back together teddy bear? No, you haven't seen that. So I just gave it a new twist. I like to call it, put a little swerve to it, a little swerve seasoning. And I think I came up with something that's pretty unique. Everybody usually likes the little girl and they like the dolls and stuff. And like I said, so far, it's working out pretty good. I can't complain. I just want to see the progress keep growing and want to see the success keep growing.
I'm starting to understand why you're saying swerve. Like more, you're using it. I'm getting it now.
But that's been my nickname for a long time. And like I say, Swurve Comics. I call it, instead of calling it the Swurve Universe, I just put it all together and call it the Swurverse. And like I say, I don't want nobody to think I'm like a one-trick pony. I have built a whole universe with my characters. So a lot of people thought in the beginning, all you got is 8-Ball. No, 8-Ball is going to join a group called the Hit Squad, and you'll learn more about them. It's 5 more characters that'll be coming in, and it'll be Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad. A lot of people don't look at the title. It says hardcore, but if you look, there's a dot, there's periods in between each one. CORE stands for the Children Outreach Rehabilitation and Education Program. it's a program put together by like the local government to try to help rehabilitate the children who are born with special powers and abilities and stuff. So if they doing something they broke the law, those kids will be, you know, kind of like remanded back to the custody of that program and try to teach them how to use their powers to better aid society and stuff. So it's the core program, but when the kids go in there, it's hard, so they call it hardcore. You know what I'm saying? And I got in, and
Gotcha.
the most of it, there's like it's usually be like 6 or 7 of them, so they form a squad, and there's always a squad leader. And everybody else keep asking me, so is 8 Ball gonna be the squad leader? 8 Ball is not the squad leader. 8 Ball is the yes, you know, every group has a badass, so 8 Ball is the badass in the group.
Mm. Could you like besides 8 Ball, could you like reveal some characters like
Oh,
with
and the rest of
other
the hit
powers?
squad, the team leader is this one chick named Jamaica Red. She has like elemental fire abilities. We got Jewel. She has a stone that's embedded in the center of her forehead that gives her like all the kinesic, like telekinesic, pyrokinesic, and aquakinesic and stuff like that because it's embedded in her mind, and her mind manipulates that stone to give her those abilities, even to move objects with just a thought. I got this other big guy, and his name is 6'6". He's like he's half Mexican, half Brazilian,
Mm.
and he uses that power. He could call forth the spirit of the jaguar, which enhances his powers and abilities and strength and stuff. Then I got this one dude named Jin, and he's half human, half jinn. So if you don't know the true story about genies and stuff like that, jinn are like spirits that some of them are evil and some of them actually do live amongst humans and stuff. And they made it, and he still has his human form, but he also has the ability to be like a magical creature and has like special abilities, which he works closely with the other girl who's in the hit squad named Black Magic. And I think her name says it all. She deals in the mystical and stuff and uses like black magic and stuff, but she uses it for good. But her name is Black Magic because her eyes are like blacked out and she has like white pupils.
Mm. Yeah.
And that
Yeah, I'm
overall
sorry.
is the hit squad.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have like no illustrations to, but I think I could show like your Instagram page. Would your Instagram show like the characters or
No, I don't have none of the characters out. Basically, I'm saving that for the reveal for when I get ready to drop
okay.
everybody out. So I don't
But
want to give
it,
all that away.
but it sounds interesting though. Like just by you even saying that, describing the characters and stuff. You know, I heard about like the Jin, like the
Yeah,
yeah. I think like a friend of mine. He told me this like years ago that he was sleeping and I think like a you know like there's people that say like the ghosts sometimes they grab you up and they can't
yeah, and
move
you getting that like what they call
or
like my
sleep
grandma used to say like a witch riding
paralysis.
and stuff. You can't move and you're like
Yeah,
stuck and you can only see what's going on, but you can't react to anything, which is
yeah,
a weird experience. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Like they like I kind of looked it up. They call it like a sleep paralysis and stuff.
Yeah, what is
Yeah,
it? Sleep paralyzation or something like that. It's somewhere you
right,
can't move, but
right,
you can see everything visually. You can hear stuff,
right.
but you just can't respond physically to it.
Yeah, like that's that. I think that's when I heard about the jinn. I
Yeah,
heard
because
that.
the jinn, it was supposed to be God, the angels, and then demons, and then the jinn. You know, it's supposed to be angels, humans, and then the jinn. The jinn was supposed to be like born. They have that ability to walk in between the realms, between heaven and earth, and stuff like that. It's a whole thing behind it. There's different kinds of jinns. Some of them are evil. Some of them live amongst the humans and stuff, and mate with humans and stuff, and they do still have their powers and abilities and everything. So that's why I just took that and used the jinn to give it more of that magical, mystical element in the story. But he's most likely in the story, Jin. He does a lot of shape shifting. Basically, he's
Mm,
my shapeshifter in the group, but he
mm,
still can do magical things with black magic because she's straight up all magic. I mean, that's what she do.
mm. Do you ever like experience like supernatural things, or you know anybody that have ever experienced supernatural stuff like that?
Well, what some people call supernatural, I guess I listened to a lot of stuff what my grandma used to tell me and what my
Right,
mom used to tell me. My mom was deep in religion and
right,
stuff. So a lot of the stuff that you'll see in that book are things that I was told by my parents, by my grandmother, and stuff, and other childhood experiences that I've had. I do believe there's other things out here in this world. I don't believe God just stopped with us as
right.
humans and stuff. So do I believe in the supernatural? Yeah, I do. But have I encountered it? No, I haven't. Do I want to
Just
encounter it? No, I'm
yeah.
good. You know what I'm saying? No.
What was like the last horror movie you seen?
What you mean by hard movie?
Like like you seen like what kind of horror movie I could pop out? Like the Exorcist movie? Like they had like a recent Exorcist movie.
Listen, there's no other scary movie than The Exorcist.
Right.
The Exorcist is the number one scary movie ever. When I first saw that movie, man, I was a little jitterbug, and that thing
Yeah.
terrorized me for life. So that
Yeah.
stands as the number one
Yeah.
scary movie ever. I don't care what
Yeah.
nobody say, man,
Yeah.
because that was based out of realism, and it's like,
Yeah.
so you saying there's demons that could get inside you and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
so that's based off a true story. So you like, what?
Yeah.
But most
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, that actually if that's a hard movie. I just call that something I don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean they I know like after the first one they did a second one that it didn't do so good. Then
yeah,
they had a third one. I think I heard mixed. I heard it was good, but it wasn't out there like that. And then they
well,
had
it
other
goes back and try to
prequels.
explain to you more about.
Yeah,
It tries to give you the basis of where everything came from and stuff, and it's
right,
like nothing is like the first one. The
right,
first one
yeah,
set the trend, and that one stands as the movie.
yeah.
So
But the
that one
thing,
still bothers me today.
yeah, but the thing is, it's like it didn't really like the first one. It didn't really explain how the girl got possessed because I know it was like a stone or something like that. It,
Yeah, and that's when they go back in the third one and try to explain to where that stone and stuff came from.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like after they did the first one, it's like I don't care where that thing came from. Just keep that little girl away from me. You
right,
know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't like that movie. That movie just still bugs me.
right. I feel
Um,
you.
that one
I feel you.
that was just too much because it was based off of real events, and it's
Right,
like that could happen. So I ain't got nothing to
right.
do with that.
They got
But
this other one called Deliverance, where this is a recent time where a black family get possessed, and a young girl, I think it was a young woman, and I think they moved to this house where somebody got murdered. Something I've heard before, but
mhm.
she her kid get possessed in the it's a true story, and
Oh wow.
she kind of, it's like certain things happen, and I think they took the child away from her because some incident happened or something like that, and so she discovers that the child get possessed. I think she gets helped by somebody, an exorcist lady or something like that, and they end up getting the kid, and so they try to exorcise the demon in the kid. But I didn't see the movie, but I heard about it. I heard, people like when they see it, it kind of opens this portal of disturbances, dark disturbances, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but like I said,
yeah,
there's a lot of things. I remember my grandmother told me, boy, it's like certain things you don't mess with.
right,
So I listened to that old lady because I believed her.
right,
But like I said, a lot of that stuff was in the Red Door is stuff from my childhood and from just watching certain scary movies and stuff and just some things I would like to see about, how would this look on in a scary presentation, and stuff. And just give it my own twist to it. So, like I say, so far I have got good reviews from it. So far, people told me the stories are good. So far, people like the coloring effect I did in the book and everything. So hopefully the progress keep going forward because I got plenty of more stories. Because the Red Door is an anthology and Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad is a series. It's an ongoing series. But the Red Door is an anthology. It's kind of like my homage to like Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and stuff like that. But
Okay.
kind of like the Outer Limits, some of the stories will cross over and you'll be like, oh, so that's what happened to that person in the third book, or that's what happened to the guy in the first book, you know, and it just plays back and forth. So it's still all under the Swurve universe and in the Swurverse, but some of the stories are just from different areas and they'll link back up and you'll be like, wow, that makes sense. And some will even cross over with Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad. So it's all connected.
Now, do you got like any other like superhero groups or solo heroes
Oh yeah, I
besides?
got the Hit Squad is just one. Then I got
Okay.
another like urban group, you know, not well funded like the Hit Squad is. They just are like a street team, straight
Right.
urban, and they call the Turf Stars. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a big superhero group. Not so much as a group. They like my law enforcement for outer space. They called the Universal Star Marshals.
Okay.
Um, then I got like that one, and I think everybody who has a universe has that one character. It's kind of like the Superman character, but and it's called Godlike, and it's about this one guy who basically fell to Earth, had no knowledge of who he is, but as he's
Mm.
been around, he's starting to learn that he has these powers and stuff, and now like strange people and things are happening to him, and people are coming after him, and he starts to slowly find out who he is and what he is, but he still can't remember how to use his powers. And he's very powerful. It's like the base of the story is this guy has like almost godlike powers. But what's the purpose of having that if you don't know how to use it? And
Right.
then you don't know you have it. So you got all this power inside of you, and all those people that's chasing you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And they know how bad you are. And he got bounty hunters after him. He got like a terrorist organization after him. He got the star marshals after him. And, you know, and he's like on Earth. He's like he don't know what happened. Like, what are all
Mm.
these people after me for? But he has done a lot of bad things. But his mind was wiped clean, and he was basically trying to give it a fresh start. But you know, you can't run away from your past.
Mm.
And it's just a
Do
tale of redemption and him trying to, you know, undo some of the things he's done, which is going to be
mm.
difficult, but it's within his power. But he has to remember how to use those powers and abilities to make things happen and try to get forgiveness from the people that he has hurt.
does he have like somebody to teach him how to use the powers
Yeah,
eventually?
he does have like a mentor person from this like holy planet, and basically the person who's like his mentor don't like him because before he got his mind right, he killed one of his best friends.
Mm.
But his friend told him he should help him remember who he is and change him, show him that he knows another way. So he's going to show him what to do, but he don't like him. But in the end, he's going to see that his friend was right to help him out because as he starts to change things, he made things for the better for
Mm.
himself and for the basically universe.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah. Like with the but I know you told me you write and you're the artist and
Mm-hmm.
you do the coloring and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, lettering also. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to stay that way, or would you to at a certain point want to hire people to do some work, and you like do certain specific jobs like the color like a colorist or graphic designer
Well, yeah, that's the
eventually?
whole thing. I'm not one of those people that like want to keep everything under my control. No, I
Right.
love to find somebody who, you know, you see my color style and you can mimic it because that's kind of like my trademark now. Everybody look in the first book and they see it in the second book, they're like, that's your style. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll take that. That's my style. I just looked at it and thought it was just a cool concept on how to do it. I like the black and white and then I like the gray tones with the splashes of
Right.
color in it and stuff. So yeah, I would love to have somebody who could color. I wouldn't mind even another artist coming along and helping me out and stuff. But like I said, a lot of this stuff is it's just done by me. It's I'm just getting started. So a lot of people be expecting, oh, you know, money, 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 money. No, it's just me doing it. And plus the art style, me drawing, it's my own, it's the way that I get a lot of stuff off my mind. It's not just drawing for business. I like to draw for fun. I like to create stuff. I like to let my mind run, my imagination run loose. And, once my mind run loose, the hand follows, and whatever is up here, it's now on paper or it's in the computer and stuff. So it's therapeutic for me sometimes.
Now, with this talent that you got, have you like have you ever like attended like the school, a 4 year
No,
school or anything like that?
no, all my art and stuff. When I went to college, of course, you have to take major in English and
Yeah.
everything and stuff like that. So that was just it. I used to have that little free writing class, and she used to let us go off, and she'll give us like, here go the first paragraph of a story. I need you to write the rest of the story on out. So she used to hand those out all the time, and I used to just rip and let my mind go. And she used to look at me, and she used to tell me, "This you have a very vivid imagination."
Mm.
But that's the only 4 year schooling I went to. Other than that, is art. Art just came naturally to me. The only thing I did learn was I was in high school. A couple of art teachers, they try to teach you the easier techniques to rendering and everything else. But as far as drawing comics, all of that is just self-taught,
Mm. Like,
self-taught, and reading lots of comic books.
interesting. Like, what about like drawing the anatomy? Like, you seeing somebody like a man or a woman and stuff,
Oh,
and just
how I got better with the anatomy. One of the
right.
things I did when I was in high school, I got an anatomy book,
Mm.
and I got an anatomy book, and I used to read the bodybuilder magazines and stuff. And that's how I learned a lot about how muscle connects, how it should look, what I'm saying, how that muscle moves and everything, how it should look if the arm's extended, and how it looks if the arm is twisted around, and just taking those poses and then looking at those anatomy books, because anatomy books teach us the normal body, but we draw superheroes, and all superheroes are big muscular guys, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I used to just look at those magazines and like sketch the poses down, look at the musculature and stuff. And if I had a problem with a certain area of the body, I would sit there and draw that one body part over and over and show it how to connect until I got better at it, became more proficient at it.
Mm. You don't have like no friends that also draw, or like even because I have a friend, like I know him since junior high school, and he's a comic book artist. He
Really?
did like, yeah, he did Cassandra Cain when she was Batgirl in the
Oh, okay.
2000s. Yeah,
Nice.
his
You
name is
know?
Damian Scott.
Oh, okay.
He's known. Yeah, he worked with Marvel and DC
In DC.
stuff. Yeah, I drew like when I was a kid, But the thing was, it's like I was like in and out. Like I'll do it and then don't do it again. Like even through manhood, like I just like started like drawing the computer back again because
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, I also animate or a little something, but not I'm not like an animator like that. I took in like a couple of courses, and
Well, I would say as far as a friend who drawing, since I've been on this doing my own indie comic book, I have met
mm,
a lot of guys in the indie field that have done stuff professionally for Marvel and DC. They do like the trading cards and stuff like that. So I do, as of now, know a couple of guys who draw professionally and
right,
stuff. But growing up, it was basically just me. You know what I'm saying? I had another friend who was real good, but he was more of, let me see, I was stuck like the comics and cartoon and graffiti stuff, and he went to the more serious side of art. You know what I'm saying? Until he got his stuff in museums and stuff like that. Kind of lost touch with
hmm,
him once he got kind of big, But he has his stuff like that was shown in like New York and stuff like that. So I
right,
thought that was kind of cool, but that just wasn't my cup of tea. So where he went with doing the hand art, still painting and stuff like that, I moved over more to the digital side and started doing more of the digital stuff and bringing my characters to life on in Photoshop and Illustrator and Procreate and stuff like that.
Yeah. At what point that you had that confidence to want to showcase your work?
That took some years, man. That honestly took some years. A lot of people look at me and they be like, dude, how long you been sitting on this comic book idea? I have been sitting on these characters since the early 2000s, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, since the early
Wow.
2000s, because I
Why it
was
took
so
you that
worried.
long?
Because I was so worried about putting out there any artist.
Right.
You're your own worst critic. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Your
That's
own worst
true.
critic.
Yeah, that's true.
And no matter how it looks to you, and you show it to somebody else, they be like, "Dude, that looks great." Like, nah, that don't look right. Ball up and toss it in the trash. And people like, oh, what'd you do that for? It didn't look right.
Right.
So it took me that long to, like I say, get that courage up to actually put it out there in front of the people because, some people can critique, like I say, but some people just be hateful. Oh, that looks terrible. You shouldn't be doing that. Da 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 da. And artist, anybody who does something, you want your stuff to be like, welcome. And if it's like I said, if it's an honest critique, yeah, honestly critique me. Okay, hey, this could be better. But if you're gonna critique me like that, though, you at least need to be drawing yourself or in the art field.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I really look for critiques like that. But like, if I'm asking you to read my book and critique it, and you read it, if it was good, yeah, it was good. If you didn't like it, say, I didn't like it, but it was good. Or if you don't like it, be like, nah, it's a lot of stuff different wrong with it. But if you're gonna do that, don't just be like, I don't like it and throw it around. Like I say, give me an honest critique. How could it be better then? If you're critiquing it, at least got to give me a resolution of how it could be better. Don't just sit up there and down talking and talk shit, because anybody can sit up there and talk about something that don't look right. But then you'd be like, well, what makes you the professor on that issue in order for you to say what you're saying?
Right.
And a lot of people just in this day and age on the computer, they'll sit behind that keyboard, and say all kind of stuff. But that's why I like going to the cons and actually meeting the people who I'm talking to. Go to the cons and hey, do you like that? You know what I'm saying? I've had people come back to the con like the next day and they'll tell me, "Oh, I love your book. I'm mad at you though because you left it with a cliffhanger." You know what I'm saying? What happens next? And I tell them, hey, you gotta wait for the next comic book to come out.
Yeah.
And so I like getting that kind of critique. That's the good stuff. And like I said, all I want to do is just keep putting out good stuff, man. And like I said, that's how I'm measuring the success on all of this.
Yeah. Let me see. Now you got Fatal Affair. Like, is that you?
No,
Oh,
that's a funny story of a friend of mine told me that I worked with. It's basically called Fatal Affair. The consequences of a one night stand. It's an adult themed
okay.
like comic, but the funny part to that story is, what if a hitman dated like crazy, crazy like assassin chick,
Mm,
and he's kind of stands her up, you know,
mm.
and old girl wasn't having it, so she like hunts him down and like it's kind of like while he's trying to do his job, she trying to take him out, because he
Wow.
didn't he didn't call her back. So it's the consequences of a one night stand. Every dude I think done met that crazy chick. Like every girl has met that one crazy dude. Who's like, yo, is that dude following me? Or who is that? And what are you doing here? And that's basically what it turns out to be. But
Mm,
it's just a funny spin on a story that a friend of mine told me. And I was
uh-huh.
like, dude, that would make a great story with a little bit of swerve seasoning to it.
Yeah. And you got the Red Door. This is like some the illustrations from Beyond the Red Door.
Okay, a lot of
Okay.
stuff that you put up is like posters that I made of like different characters that I
Oh,
have in the Swurverse. And
okay.
that one you just showed right there is actually part of the
Yeah.
Red Door. But
Okay.
that's one of my good guys when he was real young. And he became like the protector of that one little girl because she has incredible power, and her powers can boost his powers. So
Mm,
kind of like a back and forth thing. She helps increase his power and ability, which make him develop his powers and ability more. But those demons and stuff that are chasing her want her because she's like a battery. You know what I'm saying? They want to
okay.
feed off of her. And he's there to basically protect her and stuff like that. So he's the key to that whole story.
Mm. Yeah, you got some good stories, man. Even if I'm not visually seeing it. I'm you letting me see it. You know, by
Yeah.
you telling it.
And that's what a lot of
Yeah,
people tell me. They say, you have a lot of stories, and they be like, you're so passionate about it and how you tell it because these these are my stories, and I know how each one of the characters supposed to function. Each person's supposed to be and how they all connect in the Swurverse and stuff. And like I say, it's a lot of crossover you'll see. And that's why on a lot of those pictures you see, some of those posters have actually character bios on them. And
right.
because that's how basically I started out. When I first started doing the Comic Con and stuff, I didn't have a comic book. I would go to the Comic Cons and I would draw my characters, get them
Mm,
put on 11 by 17 poster forms, and sell them. And everybody's like, "Your art's great. Do you do other heroes?" I'm like, "No, I'm working on a comic book. These are some of the characters." And people will buy that and be like, "No, I want to see what your book is going to look like," and pay for they'll buy the posters and everything and stuff because they was captivated by the stories. That same thing I'm telling you right now. And
right.
they were invested in the stories, and basically that's how I paid for a lot of stuff to get done with the comic because
Right.
of selling those my characters and telling people this is what I'm trying to do and stuff. And a lot of people backed it up and they bought those posters, man. And so now here we are, and I'm finally bringing everything to fruition.
Out of curiosity, what was you doing so you said you started it 6 years ago. Like what was you doing like before the 6 years you started? Just
Well,
regular
like I said,
work?
I just started 6 years ago, like doing the maybe 6 or 7 years doing the whole Comic Con thing. Well, I've always been
Oh,
drawing.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? I've always been drawing. I've always had a lot of characters done and working late shifts on certain jobs. I pull out that pencil and a piece of paper and I would write down different story ideas that come to mind and or do rough sketches of different people. Or, a lot of things came from, you work with certain people, you like, piss me off. I'm write a story about him. You know what I'm saying? And in the story, you create a little character around him. And then, it's kind of a funny thing because I used to like to write little funny stories. I let some of my other coworkers read it, and they'd be like, "You crazy, man? You do something with that." And so I finally did, and don't put no real people name in and stuff, but it was a good outlet. Instead of me going saying something to that person, I just wrote about it, and turned it into a funny story and let it go as that. Now I'm using those stories to create more characters and create my stories. And those knowing those people actually give me a foundation to write on and to create the character off of for the comic book.
Hmm. Like you ever thought about like making a screenplay or anything like that?
Um, I actually have one that I worked on that I've been writing for a while, and it could go something. It
Right.
could go somewhere. I think it's pretty good. I've let several people read it, and everybody was like, "When you gonna pull the trigger on that?" And it just comes down to you got to have before you could go like present something to somebody unless you don't blow it up big time and they
Right.
want to know who you are. You got to have like an agent or a manager and all the other stuff like that. And right about now, I'm not in that phase just yet. So what
Right.
I'm doing is just doing me with the comics and stuff, bringing those guys to life and letting everybody read it and stuff to basically give me better guidance. Let me know, hey, if I've done something good, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're in your IG, so yeah. So when did you decide to go to Comic Con and all that stuff?
Like I said, the first Comic Con I went to, it was believe it or not, I have been drawing all that time, drawing superheroes and stuff. Never been to a Comic Con, man.
Right.
And they finally had a local one in the area where I live, and I had my son. He was a little short at that time. He was like, I think, yeah, let's go.
Right.
Let's get that experience in. They had the, people dressed all up and stuff, and honestly, after that first one, I started going more and more. And then that next year, I got my first table. I got some posters printed and stuff.
Mm.
And I've been at it ever since. The only time I slowed down is when the big pandemic hit. And so I just stopped right there.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember I went to Comic Con. This was like in New York City where I'm at, and yeah, I mean, like it was a lot. It was like people dressed up as superheroes and all that stuff. Yeah, but that was the last time I've been to a Comic Con. Like this was like maybe like 12 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
and definitely it's definitely a visual. It's a stimulation overload. If you go to one of the big ones like New York, or if you here in Orlando, you go to Orlando MegaCon, Tampa
mm,
Bay Comic Con, where you could be in that place all day long and lose track of time and still haven't been over the entire building to see everybody. And it's overwhelming. Yeah, like crazy,
yeah,
crazy visual stimulation. Crazy, crazy.
yeah. So so this is not your story. Protect and serve, law and order. This is
That's something I did for the local sheriff and stuff.
right,
You know, law enforcement. You know, a lot of people think law enforcement's bad, but you know they serve a purpose, and a lot
right,
of them do. The majority of them do their job, and they do it the right way. And I
right.
just thought it'd be a cool little thing to turn the like sheriff into it. And I actually gave it to the sheriff, and he was greatly
Mm,
appreciative of it. You know, he really liked it and stuff. So, and he put it on their website, and it got a lot of views and stuff. And everybody was like, "Should do a comic book about it." And I was like, "They asked me to. You know, we'll see about it." You know, so but
yeah,
like I said, I do my art for fun. I do it for me, and I just if something hit me, I just do it.
yeah, yeah. This is pretty cool. Yeah, like what? Like how far do you see yourself doing this? If I could
Um.
ask that question.
Oh yeah. Far as me doing comic books and stuff, that
Right.
is my basic like little retirement thing, man. If like I say, if push come to shove, I would like to when I retire just still sit back
Hello.
and do my
Oh,
comic book stuff. You know, I would like to take it as far as it can. Put it like this, I'll take it as far as it can take me because
yeah, yeah. I
everything's
know it.
changing now. AI and all the other stuff, but like I say, AI don't wouldn't exist without artists like me.
Right. Yeah, I had to adjust my camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed. I noticed. You know, I'm seeing a lot of like AIs and all that stuff. Like, I mean, sometimes it's cool. Like, especially with the superheroes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, I'll see like a Christopher Reeve version of Superman and an Adam West version of Superman and Linda Carter version of Wonder Woman together and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean,
Sometimes
to
it's so.
some points it's cool, but
Yeah,
it could be a little bit overwhelming because that AI can't exist without artists like me putting stuff out there into the artist sphere. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where they grab a lot of the ideas from to create that new AI art. So
right.
it is what it is. But like I say, I don't never think traditional artwork would ever go out of style because
No,
everybody likes custom made, handmade stuff. And all AI is going to do is make that more vintage, and it's just going to make it more better to have. You know, like, oh, you got that through AI. Oh, well, I went to this artist, he did this. That's his style, and people,
mm,
wow, just like you could watch a computer machine spray paint a picture, but it's cooler when you watch a person sit there and paint a picture. You know what I'm saying? And all his mistakes are in there. You can't tell it, but it looks good. But every time that machine do it, it's gonna be print out the same way. But every time you read that paint that picture, every time it's gonna be something different about that picture every time. So the uniqueness of being a traditional artist I don't think will ever go out of play to
mm,
AI.
yeah. What do you want to see manifest that you haven't seen yet?
From my comic books,
Yeah.
I would like I would like for Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad to become a full blown anime, and I would like to see Beyond the Red Door become a full live like motion screen, either movie or television series.
Mm. Yeah,
If
I
I
could
could have
see
that
that.
end goal I wanted, that's the end goal I would like to have for both of those books.
I could see that because the way like you like because I was kind of so worried about like even pictures and stuff, but the way you telling me it, I'm like, wow. I I feel kind of like wow, I feel satisfied the way how you just elaborating like the
Yeah.
details of the stories and stuff. So
Well, like
yeah,
I tell a lot of people think when a lot of artists come out, I got this story, and they think that one book, that's it. Got that one story, or I give you two books. You got those two books, that's done. No, I have a lot. I
yeah,
have, I got like stuff I done written out. I have like a 5 terabyte hard drive, man, full of different stories and stuff and actual art to go with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just accumulation of stuff that I've done over time that if I do choose to use it, all it needs to be, say, like updated, a little bit of the technology or different kind of new slang words and stuff like that, and present it right out there, and it still should fit. A good story is a good story, no matter how old it is and stuff like that. It's still a good story if you made everything connect, use a lot of logic and common sense in it. If it's a superpower or fantasy kind of story, you get to bend the rules a little bit. You don't have to be so logical because it's this and it's that. This guy can fly, and we all know in real life people can't fly and all that other stuff. So, you get to bend the rules of it. So, but it's a good thing.
what would you like how do you stay consistent? Like did you like wrote a story or or did like an incomplete work and then you just kind of left it alone and then all of a sudden you just stumbled across it again and wrote something again?
Um, no, most of my stories I'll write them until I end them. I bring it to a conclusion to where I can intervene with something else to continue the story on. Uh, each story is a contained, even in the series with Hardcore, each story is contained to that one, but I put a twist in there at the end to link the next story on to it, and it keeps going. Put another little twist at the end of that one to link into the next story to keep it going. I might get like this first series I got is like 5 books for Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad, and that's telling you about how 8 Ball transitioned from fighting in the pit to like going after his the person who hurt his family and stuff. Then he finally joins the Hit Squad. So after that, now we can see how's 8 Ball doing with the Hit Squad. Now he's getting trained on how to use his powers better. He get an upgraded suit. You know what I'm saying? He starts to learn how to manipulate his powers. He learns about teamwork. You know what I'm saying? How he can blend his power with other teammates' abilities to make them do different things. Just learning to be a team, which I think basic society working together is always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to get an issue of that. Check it out. You know,
Oh, okay. Well, like I say, you shoot me your address and stuff. I can make that happen for you.
I
And
appreciate that. I will definitely check it. I'll give you my critiques. Some artists. Like I've been interviewing some artists, and they have gave me like some books and stuff. Some of it, I read. Some of it, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't finished it yet. But I because I have like other stuff just I'm distracted a lot of times. But
yeah.
I would, I would. I mean, you could come back and read it. It's not like I still got them. It ain't like I ain't gonna never read them again. But I would like to check it out though.
Well, like I say, what I do
Genuinely.
with mine, I
So
like I like doing cliffhangers. I want you to stay right there till you thinking like, dang, in the back of your mind is still running. What happened, to old boy? You know what I'm saying? Because he did this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? If you look at my book, you'd be like, yeah, it's still a cliffhanger in there. I still have people uh that was waiting on at Tampa Bay Comic Con when I did Tampa Bay.
Right.
The one guy was like, "You got Hardcore Part 2 yet?" I said, "Not yet." I said, "I'm trying to drop that in January." So basically, what I try to do is try to have my books out now 6 months apart. So that give me 6 months to do one book, 6 months to put the other new book in your face. That give me another 6 months to get the new book out for that one. So it's like a rotation. I start getting
Right.
the tease of the new book, but here's the other book that I just dropped. So you got 6 more months. Now I give you the new book I was working on. Here's the tease of the other book I'm working on. So it's just a keep back and forth thing like that. But like I said, it's been working so far. Just the cliffhangers I put in there, I leave people with a thought of like, dang, like what happened? Or what happened to dude moms? Or what why did little girl, where did she go? You know what I'm saying? And what about the dolls, man? And you know, I want to keep the questions in your head that'll keep you coming back. But I even have people when they see me, they just look at me and they'll laugh and be shaking their finger at me at the con. They'll be like, you got to let me know what happened. You know, you gotta let me know what happened. I'll be like, yo, you gotta come back and get the next book, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Cliffhangers are cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
cliffhangers. Yeah, I like cliffhangers.
I always believe in the cliffhanger because the fact point of it's a good thing to have to keep people like, what? That's it? You know,
Yeah,
I had one dude who came back, he read Hardcore Chronicles of the Hit Squad. You know, your boy looked at me, he was like mad. He was like, dude, you just gonna leave me hanging like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, "You gonna leave me hanging like that? Like, what happened? So what happens next?" And I tell everybody, well, you gotta wait till I drop the next book. It's coming. Be patient. You
yeah,
know, like I tell everybody, I'm not Marvel. I'm not DC. I wish I could drop one every month and give you the next issue this month, the next issue next month, the next issue. No, it takes time. I'm doing it all by myself, and I'm not one of those people going to rush to put something out. When I put it out, that's my reputation. That's my art out there, and I want it to be look good before I hand anybody anything. I want everything to look at least good enough to I feel like I could put something out there and give it to you, and you be like, wow. You know, I don't ever want to give none of my fans or customers just like, "I was rushing. Here you go. You know, hope you like it." No, I took my time. Here you go. If it's good, you know, let me know. If it's not good, let me know. And
yeah,
I'm dead serious about it. I look forward to the critiques and everything. I'm not saying I'm the greatest artist out there, but I really take a lot of pride and stuff in my art and coloring and in my style and my little techniques and stuff that I use. And I just want to hand out something good. And it doesn't have all the politics and stuff in there. I'm an old school type of guy. I want to give you a superhero story. I want to give you a scary story. I don't want to hit you with stuff that's going on in the real world because I thought we're reading this book to escape what's going on outside of there.
right,
So I'm in this book, reading this book because I don't want to know I don't want to see the news. I want to read this book because this guy could punch somebody in the face and he could fly off. You know what I'm saying? Escapism. That's what the whole thing is. Escapism. When you read a book, you want to escape what's going on all around us. And that's how I look at it. So I don't put all the politics and all the, well, you should put some current affairs and stuff. No, if you want current affairs, turn your TV on.
yeah,
You want politics, especially if you want politics right about now, just turn your TV on. Put it with
yeah,
Netflix or YouTube, ABC, NBC, CNN. You get all that you want. You pick up a Swurve Comics, I'm gonna give you something that don't try to entertain and tease your mind.
yeah. I can understand that. Yeah. I mean, it's not everything works for everybody, so I get it, man. Trust me. Like, yeah, any plans for like 2025?
My plans for 2025 is to have Hardcore Part 2 out at the beginning of 2025. And by the middle or close to the end of 2025, have out the second book of Beyond the Red Door. There's other couple things I'm working on in between there, but I'm not going to say too much because those things are still up in the air big time. And that's
Right,
kind of like I'm controlling it, but it's kind of like I have to work with other people in order to get these things done. So I know what I can do on my end. I'm going to do my best, but I have to see what the other people do on their end to make it come to fruition. So basically, what I'm going to do is stick to my comic books. I know I got those done. I know I got the stories written. I got a lot of the artwork already done. And then the third book for Hardcore is already drawn up and everything and stuff as well, and it just needs to be colored and lettered. So I got a lot of things that are set way ahead of a schedule, and then some of the things I'm kind of behind on, and then there's some of the things I don't have control of because I'm working with other people. And like I said, I see what I can. Hopefully, everything works out. Put it like that with all the
Well,
people that I'm working with.
well, no
But I
doubt. I
got
mean,
good plans coming for it. I got merchandise that I got coming out, man. I got cups, hats, shirts. Like I say, I'm independent. I haven't did a Kickstarter or anything like that. So everything you see is funded by what people have bought the posters and was invested in that way. So they, every time they saw me, they was like, "You got that book yet? You got the book yet?" And, you know, and when I finally gave it to them, they was like satisfied. They're like, "That's a good book, man. The art is good. I like the story, stuff like that." And that, me as an artist, that makes me feel better. I'm like, "Yeah, I had you wait, but look what I gave you though. Is it good?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, perfect. I'll bring you something else. I'm getting faster. I get better at it." You know what I'm saying? Putting together a comic book is not easy work because you don't just want to put me. I'm a designer. I just don't want to put square with square with square. No, I want to switch it up. You know, dazzle the mind, tease the brain a little bit, give you something good. Comic book is a visual medium, so I want to give you something good to look at.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't rush it. You know, it's like a movie. You're making it into a movie. What you're doing.
Exactly.
So yeah, you know, it was funny because I was watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old one from the '90s,
Yeah.
and I seen the first one, but I never seen the second one till yesterday, last night. And I seen
Really?
the second, yeah, I seen the second one with Vanilla Ice and stuff. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, damn, this was trash. Like it's like they rushed it. Like because the first
It,
one was cool. It was all
yeah.
right. But then when they did like it seemed like they just wanted to make a part two so quick. You know, I don't know, like at that time, you know, they didn't have a lot of CGIs. They was
No,
developing
everything was
certain
practical.
things. Yeah, or puppets and
Yeah,
stuff like
everything was
that.
practical effects. Yep.
But it could have. I'm sure it could have been better how it was before. You know, I mean, than it was. You know, it was like it, it,
But see,
it was crazy.
you watching that now with the technology that they have now, you think like, oh,
Yeah,
that was trash. But if you would have saw it back then, if you read the comic books how it first started, and then you seen it on TV, man, I know I was like, yo, this is hot. You know, the Ninja Turtles are right there, you know, on the screen. And it looked like Ninja Turtles. You know, it's people in suits, but it's like it still looked cool. But if you compare that to now, it's like CGI could have came in there and tweaked it and made it a little bit better. But
yeah.
but back then in that era, it was top notch, man.
Yeah, but even the Wonder Woman movie, like they kind of rushed it. They put a lot of feminism in it, and you know, it,
I like the first one.
yeah,
The second one was weird to me.
yeah,
You know, it got a whole bunch of backlash about you know. But you have to think it's a comic book.
right,
You know, none of this stuff is real. Stop and see that's when it gets bad with the politics and you're trying to throw all this other stuff in there.
yeah,
It's a comic book. It's fantasy. Let let it stay there. Let it stay there with the fantasy, the comics, and stop trying to inject realism into it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing of fantasy, and you know that's the whole thing. Like I said, escapism. Let me know. I wish I could read this book. I'm gonna watch this dude run into a train and knock it off the tracks. You know, I'm gonna watch this little girl float through the air and make demons fly out of her dolls and stuff like that. You know, it's because I don't want to hear about the politics. I don't want to hear about the feminism. I don't want to hear about the sexism. I don't want to hear about other stuff. This is that time for me to focus on something else to get away from all of that. Escapism is the key. And that's why I say I keep all that stuff out of my books and stuff. And I've had people at cons come up and ask me, oh, where is that? Well, somebody asked me, do you have any gay characters in your comic book? And honestly, I do. I said, yeah. Okay, so are you gonna have them prominent? So put it like this: it's a superhero comic book.
right,
whether he's gay or not, does that have anything to do with her crime fighting abilities and stuff like that to fight crime? Unless I take you inside to a personal side of it
Right.
and show you, hey, this is what old boy, old girl doing at the house. That's the only way you'll know about that. Other than that, it's not going to be he's fighting crime. You're fighting a gay man. That's not what nobody's going to say when they're fighting crime. But you fighting a gay woman. It's not. But like I said, I base my comic books off of real people, and I'm cool with some gay people. I'm relatives, kin to some gay people, and they don't run around and hold out that big badge like I'm gay. That's not their personality. No, they are who they are. What they do in the room is their business. They're a regular person. You know what I'm saying? They're a regular person, do the same thing I do. You know what I'm saying? Except for what they do on the other side of that door in their room is different. But we'll give you the shirt off their back. Good people. If you need some help, they'll help you out. And that's just it. It's not about I got to put this in your face every time I see you. You got to remind, hey, I'm gay. Oh, yeah, okay, good. It's like I don't want none of that stuff all in my comic and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Do I have them in there? Yes, I do. Will you know about it? Yes, you will. Will they talk about it all the time? No, they won't, because you're supposed to be fighting this super 10-foot tall big guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're focusing on. So I'm keeping the story about hero versus that good guy's going to fight this bad guy. Go at it. How do we get to that point? You know what I'm saying? That should keep you intrigued to be like, until you get up to the big fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I do that. Keep the stories good. You know what I'm saying? Keep all the politics out, and no hate to nobody and what they do. But I just think the story thing should be on the character and not what they do with their personal life and stuff like that. Unless that's the way you write your story, but it won't. That's not how I'm doing mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got a talent, man. Because everybody can't do what you do, man. I mean, I try to write comics a little bit, a little something, and sometimes it's not very easy. Just trying to think of something, or like even the
Yeah.
scenery and stuff like that. So I commend you on you doing what you're doing. So
I
yeah,
appreciate that, man. Like I tell everybody, I keep it fun because to me, this is what I want to do, and I'm enjoying myself. Is it hard? Yeah, it can be. Especially if you got somebody telling you, man, where that book at, man? We gonna get your book done. We gonna get the book done. You get tired of it. It'll be done when I get done with it. I'll let you
well,
know. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right,
gonna let you know when I get it done. Then when I get it done, you better be here to buy it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You better show up to show out and purchase it. And for those who have did me like that, when I got the book done, they'll make their comments, it's about time, you know what I'm saying? But they'll still buy the book and then they're reading and be like, yo, it's good, man.
yeah,
Fun thing, when they go next, we're gonna be out. Get away from my table, dude. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate, like I said, all the people who have like backed me and stayed on me to do the stuff. And like I try to tell everybody, I do everything I do is on my own.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So it's me doing all that. It's me sitting back writing the stories. A lot of people who do the indie comic books and stuff, either they're the writer or they're an artist or they just part of the think tank that came up with the idea, and they get the stuff together. They hire an artist, they hire a colorist, they hire a letterer. You know what I'm saying? That's all me. So I have to change mine. Like when I'm drawing it, then I was like, all right, color it next. So I switched that mindset to, all right, now we're doing colors. How are we going to color this? And sometimes it take me a couple of days on like, what colors do I want to use? How I want to try to approach this one. But since 8 Ball is so the way it is, same way I approach that, and the same way I'm approach the next book. So that's easy. I got that format down on how I color that. Beyond the Red Door, I like that. A lot of this stuff is going to take place at nighttime because most horror stuff and scary stuff best take place at nighttime. So I'm still going to use that same technique I use on there. So I'm just going to try to keep moving forward with what I'm doing.
well, I appreciate you, man, giving me your time and
No problem,
giving me
man.
the opportunity to talk with you. It was worth the wait.
I appreciate that, Ed, man. No problem, man. And like
Yeah,
I said, if you shoot me an address and stuff, man, I'll shoot you a
I
hardcore
got you.
book.
I got
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Well, thank you.
No problem, man.
All right. So, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up, and again, I appreciate my guests, Swurve Comics. I forget M.C.McDonald,
Yeah, MD
M.D.
MD
McDonald.
McDonald. Yeah,
Apologize, M.D.
no problem,
McDonald,
man.
for coming. Yeah, giving me this opportunity to talk with him, and yeah, no doubt. This I'm wrapping it up.